Welcome back, traders and investors, to Benzinga's pre-market prep, brought to you by MarketFi. I'm your co-host, Joel Alconin, along with Brianna Valesky, and we have Dave Babich on the line. He is the CEO of Trafinity. Dave, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for coming on the show. Before we get started, could you just give us a little bit of your education and market background?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I went to University of Washington out in Seattle quite a while ago, and got a degree in business and economics, and had a passion for the markets when I was at 16, 17. Got into technical analysis and Hand Slim and Graham and Dodd and all those guys, and just knew that's what I wanted to do going forward for my career pretty much from the get-go. So I focused on that area and worked for a direct access day trading firm, one of the bigger ones in the country back in the late 90s. Rode the wave up on the markets up to the 2000 peak, and kind of been an entrepreneur in the world of finance ever since, and started Trafinity, led to the starting of Trafinity kind of in 2011, 2012.
Tell us about your company, Trafinity Ventures.
Yeah. Well, I was, like I said, I was actually running a group of traders in New York back in 2010, 2011, and was looking for a better way to be able to kind of organize and collect all this information from all these multitudes of sources. And had been, I'd used direct access trading platforms for years, so I had the raw market data down pat. I'd used scanning programs like Telechart and things like that to be able to go and filter the markets pretty efficiently. But being able to collect, the chatter through all these new channels, Twitters and RSS feeds and things like that, and it was very difficult for me to be able to do it and then organize it and be able to share it with my team. And so that was kind of the catalyst for me to start creating Trafinity. And then 2012, I closed down the group, got real serious about Trafinity, and started kind of really eyeballing what Mike McHugh and Evan Dahl were doing over at Flipboard, and Ben Silberman was doing with Pinterest, and that was kind of the inspiration for creating this. So yes, Trafinity is essentially what we do is we aggregate information from a whole variety of different sources, but we go and we filter out a lot of the noise. So if a trader wanted to go through and find out all the relevant chatter or information coming through from publishers on Twitter, but they didn't want to have to go through and comb through all the stuff just by punching in a cash tag on Twitter, they'd be able to utilize Trafinity to be able to get to that information in a much more concise way than going actually out to these kind of third-party social channels.
So tell us about the different products that you offer and the costs associated with each product.
Sure, yeah. We're a young company. We've got a beta version of our pro platform right now, which ultimately we will be charging a monthly subscription fee for, but we'll be launching that probably in Q1, Q2. But the beta is actually up and running right now, and people can get access on our site. The other product that we have is called Trafinity Streams, and the real primary difference between those two is that Trafinity Pro basically does kind of what Hootsuite does. It puts channels side by side so that somebody can go through and kind of isolate based on a particular symbol or grouping of symbols or a particular type of a channel. Whereas the Streams version, we're dealing with a more limited screen real estate because it's really designed with a mobile-first mentality. And so that one collapses all the different streams, brings them in together, and creates more of kind of like a LinkedIn Pulse or Apple News type of curated news feed coming in. And that one's Trafinity Streams is a free platform. We're giving that one away.
Okay, and how long has it been in beta?
We've had Pro and beta. We officially launched kind of a real limited closed beta back in fall of last year. And have kind of iterated a little bit on that product, but have been focusing a little bit more on Trafinity Streams. The Streams version, we're actually going to be launching both an Android app and the Streams on desktop here in the fall. So that one will launch into beta. We'll run that for beta for about 3-4 months before we get to a full product launch, and then we're actually going to be out in New York launching that platform at a big trader event out there in February of next year.
All right. So, what type of investors can utilize your site? And besides investors, who else? Developers? Who else can make use of your site?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it really is kind of two sides to it. One side, obviously, on the consumer side, self-directed investors, traders. The pro system is probably a little bit more applicable for more active traders. I would be a good fit, I think, for the pro system. People that are really active, looking for idea generation. We build all of our what we call research boards or research streams are all built around watch lists, and typically they're theme-based watch lists. So I may be able to, as an active trader, I go into Trafinity and say, all right, I'm looking for, watch lists that have been created wrapped around solar energy with a technical twist to them. If I'm a self-directed investor, I may be kind of a little bit more casual. I may be geared a little bit more towards the streams product. It's a little bit easier to be able to digest the information there. You're dealing with a little bit less information, but it doesn't require kind of the familiarity with DMA platforms and that most of us as really active traders have. And then beyond that, you're looking for, really anybody that wants to be able to kind of track the flow of a collection of publicly traded companies. So that could be students, it could be, researchers, it could be columnists who are looking to go out and research a particular topic. We're talking to University of Texas, Dallas about introducing the platform into their university system as well. So there's a big kind of broader landscape beyond just the active traders and investors. And then ultimately, the platform is really going to be geared on the B2B side for publishers in the financial space, really enabling them to be able to go and get their information consolidated and get it across to their target audiences in a little bit more efficient fashion than having to go through and fight through all the kind of spam and the noise that's existing right now on social channels.
Like what comparable products to yours out there where someone has it and here's a new product coming online, they want to check it out. What are your peers in the industry?
Yeah, you can make a little bit of an argument for something like StockTwitch, but StockTwitch is kind of an original idea generation tool, that rolled over from Twitter. We don't produce anything original, so what we're really meant to do is kind of create more of a pipeline or a conduit for people that are developing new APIs that can bring information into our platform. So make it more, present information in a more digestible way. So I think probably the closest analogy outside of the world of finance, Apple News, Flipboard to an extent. The Flipboard tends to be a little bit more of a broad scope, kind of casual reading process. LinkedIn Pulse to an extent because it's a curated news feed. We're really going after that angle of kind of playing up on curated information versus forcing users to go out and kind of have to grab raw information. Others, we lay out our information on our pro system a little bit like Hootsuite. You're always going to get the comparables of, Yahoo Finance and Bloomberg.com or Bloomberg terminals, but we're really not necessarily going after institutions. We're not going after hedge fund managers at this point. It's an open source versus, so users can actually come in and bring their own sources into the platform versus having Bloomberg's and Yahoo Finance where they're really relegated to the sources that they choose or deem as to be worthy.
Okay, and it's not a download, right? It's internet based.
Internet based, yeah. It's a .NET .NET platform, and then we're developing for Android and for iOS now.
Okay, and who would you say? I mean, what are the big advantages that your product's going to have over the competition?
I think our biggest thing is that a lot of the, especially kind of curated news services out there, they're really built around the user, what the user is going out and looking at. So they'll, like LinkedIn Pulse will go out and look at a keyword in a particular article or the title of the article or whatnot, and they'll come in and they'll give you recommendations for additional articles based on that. Or they'll look at who's in your network and they'll give you recommendations based on that. I had spent 20 years in finance, and the way I had always conducted research was to go and break down stocks using filtering programs, break down equities into watch lists. And typically my watch lists, were anywhere from a couple of companies all the way up to, 40 or 50 companies. And so that's what really the catalyst was for Trafinity. So every single one of our streams or our research boards are all built around this idea of a collection of publicly traded companies. And that's what makes it so unique to the world of finance. Versus the more broad scoped kind of news program. So, I would say aggregation certainly. We bring in Twitter, we bring in commercial RSS feeds. We have agreements with Zacks, and a variety of other commercial RSS licensing partners. So we bring all those into our platform as well as other APIs, bring all this stuff in, kind of aggregate it, pull it into the same source. Then we really kind of massage it. So we'll go out and we'll get rid of about 90 to 95% of kind of the spam and stuff that's really not relevant to what we as traders and investors are really trying to go through and look at. So there's a lot of kind of that vetting out process of the information. I think that, to me, that was the thing when I was developing it, told me that it was going to save me the most amount of time. And then curation. Curation is such a huge play right now for content discovery, and being able to go through and look at collections of information built around particular topics that are already prepped. So if I wanted to go through and look at the upcoming earnings season, but I knew that I was a technical analyst and I knew that what my risk parameters were, so I needed to get rid of about 90% of the companies out there that really didn't fit into that. Well, we've got a watch list, we've got a stream, we've got a research board that already do that for the user, and are going out and collecting information from the most relevant sources for those companies as well as for the events coming up.
And it's not only for investors. Other people can form strategic relationships with your firm. Who can and how do they go about this?
Yeah. We've built the platform purposely to kind of accept new APIs. So anybody that really is kind of coming up. So if you have a news service, PR service or whatnot, and we look at it and we say, look, okay, it's not specifically relevant to the financial industry, but we know that that there are going to be headlines or there are going to be releases that are going to be coming through this that can have relevancy on people just going out and researching the companies aside from even finance. So we are taking partnerships. We are actively looking for people coming up with new APIs. We're talking to a lot of publishers as well. Wall Street Journals and Zacks and really anybody producing original content. We're very interested in talking to them about being able to kind of increase the overall exposure, retention, reach of that content. And then finally, we're going to be actually talking to broker dealers and enabling people to be able to come in and actually trade the watch list as baskets through third-party broker dealers. So that's kind of another exciting thing that we're in development on.
Okay, and if we had your product right now, we were sitting at your desk looking at your screen, right here on the open, just quickly describe what we'd be seeing.
Yeah, you'd essentially be seeing, let's say, for example, you were looking at a research board that we had built around mobile technology and that had consisted of Apple and Google, Microsoft, et cetera. You'd be seeing on your Twitter channel, you'd be seeing the flow of tweets coming through in real time. We bring in their Twitter's full API, so in real time, you're seeing all those tweets coming through, but you wouldn't be forced to go to Twitter. You'd actually just be looking at the channel directly coming in through our platform. You'd be able to go and apply individual tags to those channels as well. So you really get kind of a triangulation of getting after information. So fundamentally, you're seeing the same information as if you went to Twitter, but you're getting at that information significantly faster. Same thing with RSS. I may be able to come in and pull in, for example, a Benzinga RSS feed and get to your stuff and then get out to your full articles and whatnot. Same thing with the Wall Street Journals or what have you. We also have what we call a CDT, which is a comparative data table. It's similar to kind of what FinViz has done with their data layout, but it's all relevant to that particular watch list. So you'd be getting multiple channels kind of put side by side across different dissemination networks and be able to get exposure to all that information relevant to your portfolio.
All right, we've been on the line with Dave Babich. He's the CEO of Trafinity, talking about his product and beta version. Go check it out. Dave, we'd like to follow your progress, have you on again. We really appreciate it.
That'd be great. I appreciate your time.